So are we live?
Let's see. We should be live already.
Yeah,
it was caching. Okay. Yeah, finally we are live.
Okay. Thank you for helping with Hangout on Air, Liam and Oleg. Welcome everyone who joined. We have more participants than usual here in the Hangout, and the video will be able to be watched after. I think we can share the link on Gitter. I will just quickly check the message on Gitter. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen, and I hope you can now see the Google Doc document. It's Jenkins office hours, minutes of meeting, and we keep all the minutes in one document, and the document, each one of you is available to edit the document. You're more than welcome to put your name under the attendees list, the way John did it. It's the link, if you don't know where to find it, was posted in the chat for this Hangout, and it was also posted on the Gitter room a minute or two ago. So yes, feel free to update it. Not only the attendees, whatever note you want to put, everyone is more than welcome. We haven't had a meeting for quite some time. We've been either busy or I'm living in a forest and I barely have internet or electricity. But finally here we are, and there are some things we have to talk about that I know about, and I hope maybe you'll have more things to discuss. So what I want to talk about today is quickly to share with you what's my focus for upcoming months regarding JCASC, and to hear from you if you agree or have other opinions. There's a lot of pull requests waiting that I promised to take care of in upcoming week. So we should expect a new version of the plugin quite soon. Yeah, the one regarding support for Groovy scripting via JCASC caused quite a long discussion, and it was a good discussion. I believe, and I would like to make a final decision, so we all know where we're going. And then, Oleg mentioned on Gitter that there is a possibility to improve plugin in different ways during Google Summer of Code program, and we should talk a little about that. Any other business you might have, we can take after that. So let's start with the focus for upcoming months. For me, the most important thing is to extend the number of plugins we're supporting, which means to make plugins compliant with configuration as code plugin. And I know there is a number of features people are waiting for, or some of the features require improvements, and if anyone has a capacity and willingness to work on that, that's perfectly okay. But I think to get more people interested and involved and extend the community, we have to make the plugin working with supporting more plugins than it is now. Although I must say that I started using Jenkins configuration as code at a number of my customers, and it's not a big problem I mean, a lot of plugins is already supported, and many of the plugins are very easy to fix. So it's not a rocket science. It's going well, and that's what I will be trying to do mostly in upcoming weeks. But as I said, improvements, and of course, if we have some fixes that some bugs that make the plugin working bad, we of course will try to fix that. And then, there's a long list of PRs waiting to be merged, and there is a long list of issues that has to be answered, solved or closed, or explained why they have to wait. So this cleanup will be happening soon too. Is there anything else that any of you would like to see happening in upcoming months?
Perhaps I have a relevant question. I'm wondering, is there somewhere a list of plugins that are waiting to be, at least tested or the support to be added?
I don't think so. So, the plugin, the way the plugin, the configuration is called plugin is implemented, makes it very tricky for us to know which plugins are supported. So we know which plugins are supported or not when we check it. And quite often when someone tries to use a plugin and the plugin is not supported, the issue is created, and then the issue on the actual plugin that is not supported is also created and linked in the plugin. So there is, we were trying to have a compatibility page, or is this something that is now being linked?
In the document.
But so if there is an issue in Jira with JCAS compatibility, it will it will appear on the dashboard. But
Cool.
So we have some known plugins that are not supported yet. But very often it's I'm trying to configure a plugin at my customer. I can see it's not working, so I just try to fix the plugin. And sometimes I just go and fix it. And then I'm sorry to say, but I skip Jira because I'm so not used to using that. So a lot of things is happening in the background.
Well, it would be really great if you actually track the changes in Jira, because it's helpful for JCask users. So the main
I totally agree. I'm sorry I didn't do it. I simply just jumped on the problem and tried to solve it. And I will be more careful now, and I will start with creating an issue whenever I fix I try to fix the plugin. And that's the JCask-compatibility label that should be used on Jira. Is that correct, Oleg?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a number of plugins which are known to be incompatible. So it's maybe 15 plugins right now. I would say that there is no known major plugins. But for example, there is log parser plugin, there is lockable resources, there is ownership plugin, mask passwords, which is also heavily used on some instances. And regarding non-trivial integrations, there is Gerrit trigger plugin, GitHub pull request builder, which also need integrations. So there is a lot of plugins which actually require significant fixes to be JCask compatible. And this is one of the reasons why I proposed to have plugin compatibility as a JSOC project. We will talk about them later.
Yeah.
But there are still many plugins, and our main problem that plugins which were created, let's say, before 2011 or so, before we had a proper data binding framework, these plugins are most likely incompatible. So a rule of thumb, if the plugin was created in 2008, most likely it needs patches to be JCask compatible.
Yeah, so I hope that answered your question, at least, like, not at least, it's quite extensive list, and thanks for the reminder. I'll make sure that I update the page too. But it's of course a process. The plugin has to be fixed, the plugin has to be released, and then sometimes it's enough, but then sometimes I think we have some things that may need to happen on JCask side, and or not really. Sorry, forget about what I just said. Yes, so this is about the list of plugins that we already know that need integration. Anything else regarding the focus for upcoming months that any of you would like to highlight?
Yeah, I have a process. A question about the security process. So in this autumn, we had several discussions about following the Jenkins security process in JCask. And currently, lack of this process blocks usage of this plugin in production, at least for me. And it would be really great if there are some action items completed on this front.
Yeah, so it was explained to me, and not only to me, how to follow the process. And you did that, Oleg, so it's not like I forgot. But those last months made me unfortunately not as much focused on JCASC as I wanted, due to a number of issues. But I will try to follow I will follow the process from now on, and I will try to fix the things that were not taken care of properly last year. So yes, this will be happening.
Okay, thank you.
So let's. Okay, you put that in minutes. Yeah, let's move. I know that Tomasz is interested in his PR, and he's limited by time. So I'd like to move to the enable support for GroovyScript pull request. For those of you who are not familiar, just a short summary. We have a number of plugins that are not supported. We know that, we just talked about it. And some of those plugins can be supported with Groovy scripts. And the traditional way of doing that is using Groovy init scripts. And those scripts are being run on Jenkins startup, as far as I understand. And that means that every time you make a change in your configuration, you need to restart Jenkins. One of the great benefits of Jenkins configuration as code plugin is that you can reload configuration without restarting Jenkins. So Tomasz would like to enable support for Groovy scripts via Jenkins configuration as code plugin. And at first, it seemed like a great idea, but then, I mean, to me, it's still a good idea to support it, but thanks to the input we have in this under this pull request, the issue proved to be a little bit more complicated, and there are opinions shared by among others Nicola and Oleg. Oleg is very against introducing the proposed solution.
Me?
No, sorry, Nicola. And Oleg, I understand you said somewhere that you would be okay with the solution, but maybe well, you agree with Nicola when it comes to some concerns, and you propose some other solution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here there are actually two questions: whether the feature makes sense and whether it should be a part of the JCASC plugin. And probably we should review these questions separately.
Okay, so I agree with Nicola concerns that such a feature would impact the pace of adapting the plugins. So, and I understand you wanted to, you said, Oleg, you want to treat it as two separate issues, but I want to like cover both. So I wouldn't like it to be part of JCASC plugin. I understand the need, and there are some people that really want to use JCASC, and well, they are still allowed to do it with Groovy init scripts. If you want to make it nicer and skip the reload part, then you want to have Groovy script supported by JCASC. And I wouldn't like to have it in JCASC. I would be perfectly okay with this as a third-party plugin. When it comes to putting it in support plugin, we, from the very beginning, treated support plugin as a temporary solution. And if we put more and more, like if we put support for Groovy hooks in the support plugin, then we'll try to keep the support plugin as long as we don't have all the plugins supported. So it will be more long-term than temporary solution. That's why I understand, like, we have a solution here, and now we're saying it's great, but put it in a separate plugin, and not everyone may be happy with it. But my personal opinion is that, yeah, there are some three ways options to introduce the feature summarized by Tomasz. And even if the separate plugin is your second choice, for me it sounds like the idea that would be acceptable by all of us. And since it's a community effort, we try to be democratic. So that's my opinion. And anyone else wants to comment? Oleg, Tomasz, or?
Yeah, there is one question about post JCask. I mean, creating a Groovy hook which would allow to just append standard Groovy hooks to JCask initialization flow. Mm-hmm. Would it be something you would consider for JCask plugin?
Yeah, so I won't pretend that I perfectly well know how it would be done. When you say that it's a few lines of code, I guess it's not a great impact. I'm just wondering how it would impact the concerns we have with, impacting the pace of adapting new plugins. But I wouldn't fight against it strongly if we have a solution. There is one comment though.
Oh, there's black mirrors. It's black mirrors coming through in China, wherever you're rated.
I don't know if there is. If there was something, yeah.
You say black mirrors.
Groovy being far more powerful comes with security impact.
Yeah.
If we introduce the Groovy hook, the hook as you mentioned, would we decrease the security of the plugin? And would it be our responsibility to make sure that it is secure? I'm just trying to understand what Nicola wrote, and I'm wondering if you have anything to say regarding that, Nicola. Oleg, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so regarding the security impact, well, taking the current state of security in JCask, it's quite complicated to say that Groovy makes it work, but theoretically Groovy is an unrestricted scripting language. So if a maintainer allows passing Groovy script, then of course you can do anything with Jenkins. But admins already can do it by setting Groovy init hooks. So the trick would be to just ensure that in JCask only people with the same admin permissions can do that. So if you make JCask patches a part of your continuous delivery flow, so for example, you have an instance configured with JCask, somebody proposes pull requests, and it immediately goes to staging, then if you permit Groovy scripts, then potentially a malicious attacker can propose a pull request with JCask configuration, which would be doing some remote code execution on your development environment where the instance is promoted. In such case, it's a question of GitHub permissions, and it's rather a matter of your pipeline.
Okay.
I can find a use case where Groovy makes it less secure, but I wouldn't say it's a common use case.
Okay. What I'm after is that, you mentioned that the security of the plugin is not great right now, and I just don't want to make it worse. I don't want to make it more complicated. And so the simple question is, do we risk that, you said you can't do some things like because we don't follow the security process, and I'm wondering if us introducing such solution would make it even worse.
It has additional risks, yes.
Yeah. So that's why separate plugin would be my first choice, but I understand the lack of time to prepare everything alone, Tomasz. But at the same time, if it's a feature that if it's a functionality that more people would be after, maybe it would be possible to find more people willing to contribute to a plugin like that.
Sorry, anyone can help me with preparation of the plugin? How to start? I so far written only one plugin in my life to Jenkins, and it was a few years ago.
Good thing that in your plugin, you actually use JCask extension points. So if you want to create a new plugin, then yeah, technically you just use a Maven archetype. There is a plugin developer guide for Jenkins users. So you just follow this guide and then copy your code to the plugin and add JCask as a dependency. Theoretically, it should be enough to get this code running as a separate plugin.
Okay, I will try on Saturday.
Yeah. So, Oleg, can you link the plugin developer guidelines somewhere?
Yeah, sure.
That would be great. Or you can put it in minutes. And you know, when you start, just share a link on. I believe configuration as code Gitter channel is a good enough place, and yeah, maybe more people will jump in. Not everyone is at this meeting, but I'm pretty sure you're not the only person that still deals with mixing Groovy hooks and JCask as a final solution. So.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. I will.
Okay, great. So we're gonna keep this PR for now, I can summarize the decision we just made in the PR, so it's clear, and let's see how it goes with the plugin. If it proves to be very complicated, but I mean, from what Oleg has said, it should not be. We'll just take it from there.
Okay.
Okay, so it seems we have that one. The next thing I wanted to talk about, because I've seen the topic the discussion regarding that has started, is JCask and Google Summer of Code. So Oleg, can you briefly explain what's the timeline and what do we need from JCask community to really benefit from Google Summer of Code?
Okay, so Google Summer Code is an international program which includes many open source organizations. Google actually sponsors internship for students, and they work with open source projects in order to develop something and study something. So students work full-time for 3 months during the summer. That's why it's Summer of Code. But actually the program starts early because we need to apply, we need to do student selection, and even now there are many students around coming to Jenkins channels asking about JSOC, and that's why we started the project earlier. And now we have around 15 project ideas published, and we have more project IDs in progress, and one of these project IDs in progress is configuration as code plugin compatibility. So as Oliver said, there are known plugin incompatibilities, and my idea was to actually have a project which would just offer students to work on plugin compatibility, take a number of complex plugins and make them compatible. So this is the idea of this project. And what we really need from the JCask community is mentors, because in order to do a project for each student, we want to have at least 2 mentors. The time dedication really depends on the student, but it's usually several hours per week. So it's a quite high resource dedication for mentors, but as a benefit, you get a full-time student, and usually the students are good, so that you can get a lot of the things done in your plugins. For example, this year, in the previous year, we had 3 projects, and all 3 projects were quite successful and produced a lot of useful stuff for the Jenkins architecture, like remoting over Apache Kafka, pipeline as YAML, and configuration as code API. And we want to do the same this year. So this is about this project idea. And yeah, generally it just targets plugin compatibility, and we offer students to select which plugins they want to make compatible. So if anybody maintains a plugin and wants to make it compatible with JCask, you're more than welcome to join this project as a potential mentor, and then we would be able to add it to the scope if we have students applying.
So yeah, there are 2 things that I would like to be clarified. There is a number of plugins that you can basically fix with your eyes closed, because it's a very trivial change. Would we like remove those from the list of available plugins to be fixed? Because then it sounds like a very easy project, and I think the projects in Google Summer of Code are a little bit more challenging. So should we kind of review the list of the plugins and then just provide only the ones that are require a bigger effort to be available, to be chosen?
Actually, so regarding quick wins, it's very important to have quick wins. If you scroll down in the proposal, you may see that there is a newbie-friendly issues. And that's why we want to have these quick wins, because it allows students to study infrastructure, to do something. And it's great to have them in the proposal. Regarding regarding the final project, of course, we want students to focus on bigger things. But it may be about areas. For example, a student may make a proposal, let's make all GitHub-related plugins JCask compatible. I just make up the things, but yeah. So it may include both big changes and small changes, but yeah, we will be interested to somehow scope the project. And
okay, no, that's great, because as you say, those are quick wins, and if we have someone dedicated with some time, some hours during every week for doing that, then we could increase the number of supported plugins significantly. So this is great. The other thing
shouldn't be a monkey work, but some bits of quick wins are generally useful.
Okay. The other thing I'm thinking about is, well, many of us won't be able to provide support for a Gerrit trigger plugin or log parser plugin. So are you targeting also those specific plugins owners, trying to involve them in the project, or like, should we help you with that, or what's the?
Yeah, we would appreciate help with that, because we have a limited number of JSOC mentors. And org admins. Of course, we will be reaching out to plugin maintainers, but I believe we will be reaching out to them when we have students asking about this project and contributing something. So if there is a student coming and saying that I want to have Gerrit plugin integrated, then personally I know what to do, because I know the maintainer. I will reach out to him. I believe that it will be an on-demand effort.
Okay.
But if there are active plugin maintainers in JCask community who maintain plugins not compatible with JCask, then you're welcome to just amend this proposal and highlight these plugins as recommended ones.
Okay.
So for example, I put ownership into the list. I used to be a maintainer of ownership plugin till December, but yeah, I put it there deliberately because I am a potential mentor and I would be interested to have ownership plugin fixed. So something like that. Yep.
Okay. Thanks for explaining. No, I think that would be a great help for the plugin. So I don't see myself as a mentor because I always have time issue, and yeah, I wasn't able to have a meeting for a month or something, so I wouldn't like to commit to anything like this. But whatever happens around the organization and like trying to figure out what to do, propose plugins, contact people, or offer some kind of I don't know, I will have time to test or consult every now and then for sure. So I can be in some way involved in Google. I would be happy to be in some way involved in this project, but not as full mentor capacity.
Yeah, right. It's perfectly fine. And right now, we firstly need contact persons. So the project ID is fine. If Jenkins gets accepted, we will likely find more mentors, like by reaching out to plugin maintainers, etc. But now we really need contact persons for students who would be able to answer questions and who would be able to provide some guidelines with these newbie-friendly issues. So it's not a big time dedication right now, until May at least.
Okay.
And yeah, any help will be really appreciated here.
Good, great. Thanks for presenting it and preparing it. And yeah, I think we already decided that we're using configuration as code channel for coordination about it, at least for now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
let's keep it that way. No.
Yeah, for you guys, it will be just a number of newbie contributors coming to the channel, which should be okay for now. Regarding more sophisticated projects, I consider proposing a project for JCask configuration validation. I would be interested to combine several other tools like Jenkins file runner, custom work packager, etc., in order to offer a validation tool which would be able to run config initialization on a real instance, even if it's packaged in Docker and Jenkins file runner. So it's something I would be interested to do, but yeah, I haven't proposed the project idea so far. And in order to propose that, I would be interested to find at least one other potential mentor.
Okay, I just thought of something. So I was actually planning to write a, well, not very long, but still blog posts about those quick wins. So I'm not a very experienced Java developer, and I worked with Jenkins configuration as code, but it's not like most of the implementation is mine. So I think the blog post could be used as a nice resource for those who want to start with those newbie-friendly issues. So I would just describe step by step what I did, why I did, and how did I know what to do. And there are some materials, like there is a post by Nicola. We have some documentation in the repository of the plugin, but I want to make it more like a story from the less experienced person point of view. So this will maybe help too.
Yeah,
I'll share it once I have it.
Yeah, it would be really helpful for contributors. And yeah, maybe if you have such blog post, we will definitely reference it in the project idea. And you can also do vice versa. So when you have a blog post, you can reference JSOC project idea, like say that, hey, if you're a student, we have this opportunity, for example.
Yeah, that can most definitely happen. Great. Yeah. I needed some axe on above my head to write this blog post. So now it will happen.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. So anything else regarding Google Summer of Code?
Nope. So if there are any questions, I am ready to answer them.
Very good. And yeah, so we just have to be aware that we may have some more potential contributors coming to Gitter channel and asking questions, and just be nice. Okay, anything else any of you would like to announce or ask or suggest?
Well, probably I should announce my availability.
Yes.
I'm not exactly a JCask maintainer, but sometimes I come to the meetings. So yeah, in December I sent a message to the developer mailing list about my limited availability in Jenkins community, and yeah, it's really limited for the next several months. I will be mostly doing community outreach work like Google Summer of Code. I won't be spending much time on maintenance of whatever. And for example, if JCask needs fixes in Jenkins core, we have several issues like chicken and egg and initialization and Groovy, and job definitions and other such things. So if my help is needed for this areas, please let me know in advance. I'll see if I can schedule that. If no, I'll probably recommend somebody else.
Yes. Thanks for letting us know, and yeah, of course, we'll keep that in mind. Okay. Anything else? Anyone? So I can just say that thanks to Oleg's help, I managed to finally run the GPG command without errors. So I should be able to run Hangout on air soon. So even if Oleg can't join, we won't have to force Liam to run a meeting in the middle of the night or very early morning or something like that for him. So yeah, that's
one thing you should know. We have recently created a JEP for YouTube permissions. I'll link it in the meetings notes. So yeah, once you get your contributor license agreement integrated, you can follow the JEP process to request the rest. So I hope it will help you.
Yeah,
and
thanks for that.
Yeah, I will also link my availability. And generally, once you have permissions, hosting the meetings is pretty trivial.
Yeah. No, I ran Hangout on air on Pragma organization before, so I know it works pretty well. But it's great the JEP with the details about the process. So thanks for that. Okay, so I think there is no need to keep us at the meeting for 20 more minutes if we don't have anything else to add. Of course, Gitter channel is open 24/7, so you can bring issues or comments there anytime. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks.
Yes.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I'll stopping the broadcast. Thanks, Evelina.